Squire.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Ambassador, for your ongoing work, and we really appreciate the cooperative nature that exists between you and the members of Congress. My question deals with NAFTA, or Mexican and Canada agreement, and seems to me from an environmental provision that some of the Montreal protocols, and most notably that of climate change, were left out. Can you comment on that, and where we think many of us on this dais believe that need to address climate change is vitally important to that relationship, ongoing relationship between Canada and Mexico?
Well, thank you, Congressman. First of all, I would say that as you say, climate change is not dealt with in this agreement. The Montreal Protocol, of course, is, and we would say directly or indirectly, all of the multilateral environmental agreements are covered, either directly, specifically, or the obligations are incorporated in there. The second thing I would say is that from an environmental point of view, this is the farthest reaching agreement ever negotiated by the United States government. It has provisions on wildlife. It has provisions on what we call ocean litter, but you think of as plastic. I mean, it is by far the most far-reaching environmental agreement, trade agreement, I shouldn't say other agreement, but trade agreement just ever negotiated. And I think the combination of these provisions and enforceability is going to have a real impact in this area. And I keep repeating this because we're very proud of the fact that we went out on the limb and did what we thought the furthest you could possibly push in this area. But as you say, climate change, the president has a different opinion on climate change. Climate change is not something that's normally considered in a trade agreement, and it is not covered here.
Well, we just heard from Representative Thompson, and having had the great opportunity to visit his district and see the devastation that occurred from the wildfires that swept through California, a number of areas in this country. It seems in this day and age to still be in denial about climate change is quite remarkable. I will commend the administration and yourself for making sure that the environmental measures not be a sidebar agreement, but are part of the process, and I think you articulated that pretty well. Are you saying that the president, that there's no further opportunity to bring NAFTA more in line with the Montreal protocols?
Well, in the first place, the Montreal protocols are specifically mentioned in the agreement. So that's not a problem. I would point out that TPA, which is the authority under which we operate, says specifically we cannot take new obligations in the admissions area. So that is precluded by the operating authority that Congress has given to me. So we're not going to do something like the Paris Climate Accord or something. It's specifically prohibited under the agreement. Taking steps to make sure that members are sufficiently happy that we are going to actually enforce after I'm gone, because everyone's comfortable, it'll happen while I'm here. But after I'm gone, all these environmental provisions is a legitimate concern, and one that I specifically look forward to working with you specifically on, you and actually the colleagues on either side of you, to make sure that members are comfortable with that. That's a legitimate position, and I certainly endorse it.
We look forward to working with you, especially on the enforcement side, which you note has had some gaps over the years. And thank you for your testimony.